Race is not where the line is drawn. It's God's side and the other side. It's up for all of them.
Up for all of them.
You Diddy or whoever you is.
Diddy, Jay-Z,
Everybody get exposed.
LeBron.
Pray for all my foes, but it's the narrow.
The noose is tightening around a whole bunch of them.
I don't care if they hate me.
Woo.
It's the life I chose. Jay-Z mocking Christ with his new movie. One day he gon' pay. You won't catch me partying with
All right. Happy Saturday, everybody. It is Saturday, December 14th, 2024. And we are here in a nice, bright, sunny day. Was it sunny out there? Yes, it's bright.
Cold, but sunny.
Cold, 21 degrees. Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. But let's have some fun with it. Now, gotta let you know, if you're listening to us on the radio, you can follow us on our website and see all of our videos on YouTube. You can Google the Amazing Grace Sports Network or type in AG Sportsnet on YouTube. Like, subscribe, agree, disagree, just comment, or just make your presence known to me and Kevin. However you want to do that, but you can do it any way you want. You can just say, hey, what's up? Or you can say, you guys are terrible. Or you can say, you guys are fantastic. You're the best thing since sliced bread. Whichever one you want to do is okay with us. Now, let's open with prayer. Lord Father God, Lord Jesus Christ, Lord Holy Spirit of the Holy Trinity, we come to you with all the gratitude and praise within our bodies, our minds, and our souls. For Satan has desired our bodies, our minds, and our souls. And for many of us, this one included, at one time he was in control of all three. But you did not turn your back on us when we turned our back on you. You did not curse us when we cursed you. You lifted us up when we were drowning. You rescued us from the abyss of depravity. You guided us to light when we were lost in darkness. You have truly, 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 truly loved us more than we have loved ourselves. And to you, I ask that you continue to cleanse us of all corruption, empower us to preach the gospel of salvation so that we may be brought into your light at the end of our journey. I ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, Kevin. I think it's time for us to hear a little Today in History. Today in History. Okay, we have Today in History, and Today in History in 1988. NBA's Miami Heat wins their first game ever in the life of that franchise. They defeated the Los Angeles Clippers 89-88 after 17 straight losses. I don't even have a question for this because I just like the Heat so much. I think Pat Riley was their first coach. If anybody knows any different, then call me and tell me if I'm right. If Pat Riley was the Heat's first coach or there was somebody else there before he got there, that would be the question. T-shirts, mugs, collages, NBA Celtics championship collages with Sam Jones, Casey Jones, Danny Ainge, Dennis Johnson, Cedric Maxwell, Larry Bird, and of course the 2008 crew. See if I can zoom in on that a little bit. That's available. Well, you'll see it better on the website. Let's put it that way. All right. And with that being said, let's move on. 2019. Let's bring something up a little bit closer. 2019. The 2019 85th Heisman Trophy Award was given to Joe Burrow. Maybe that's, when you get the Heisman Trophy Award, things are going to go bad eventually. I mean, he started off so good. And then now he's with one of the worst teams in the league. But and you know what? I blame him for it also.
I wouldn't blame him at all. I'd blame his defense. He should be the NFL MVP this year.
You think?
If they were not 5-8, he would be the NFL MVP.
But they're 5-8.
Because the Cincinnati Bengals have the worst defense in the entire National Football League. The worst.
The worst.
The worst. But anyway.
Okay.
He should be the NFL MVP.
Well, he was the 85th Heisman Trophy Award winner. And from Louisiana State University,
LSU.
LSU.
Go Tigers.
Burrow received the highest percentage of first place votes ever with 90.7. I'd like to know who, had the highest percentage of second, who came in second place. Anytime. If anybody knows that answer, give us a call. And of course, collages, mug shirts. Collages, mugs, T-shirts, mug shots, whatever you want, we got for you. And we even have basketball cards for the Celtics basketball cards. So being a caller who knows those answers, and you can get in on it. That being said, we're ready for Kevin's Corner on the Bruins.
Is it on the Bruins or on the MLB today? We'll go to the Bruins first.
Let's get the Bruins.
We'll get it out of the way.
Short, yeah.
It's not much in the Bruins. They're out in Western Canada on their swing, and it's not been going great so far. The Bruins are in Vancouver tonight at 10 o'clock. We'll get to see Elias Lindholm and Nikita Zadorov return to the team that they were last on. And, of course, the Bruins, well, we talked about last week. It was a different story when they have won 4 games in a row, when perhaps Joe Sacco was starting to turn the page with the Bruins, and maybe we're seeing a little bit different team. Well, they've begun to revert to their old ways. Thursday night, losing to the Seattle Kraken in Seattle 5-1. If you thought that was bad, well, rewind 2 nights later. If you were up watching the game in Winnipeg, well, the Bruins.
But why would you be? But anyway,
the Bruins losing that game 8-1.
8-1.
So only letting up 13 goals in 2 games. So great start for the Bruins up there in Canada and the west coast of that country.
But I got to hand it to the Bruins. If you're going to lose 8-1 so that your fans can just call it a day after the first period, right?
It just goes to show how far outmatched some of these teams are with the Bruins, and particularly the Winnipeg Jets, who have started the year very strong. And I think this year, whoever wins the Stanley Cup is probably going to come out of the Western Conference. Still a lot of hockey left to be played, but again, not looking good. Hopefully the Bruins can rebound against the Vancouver Canucks, who are putting together a nice season. The Vancouver has already beaten the Bruins once this year when they traveled to the Garden a couple of weeks ago. Right now, the Bruins sit still at third in the Atlantic Division and 5 points behind the 38-point tie right now between the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Florida Panthers. So not much movement in the Atlantic Division in the NHL. Right now, the Tampa Bay Lightning sit behind the Bruins at 1 point, and they hold down the first wild card spot in the Eastern Conference. But not going great for the Bruins so far out there in Western Canada, and a quick trip to Seattle on Thursday, and they'll finish off in Vancouver tonight. And after Vancouver, they will head to, I believe they'll head to Calgary on Tuesday to finish up the trip. They'll head to Edmonton as well, finish out the week, and then come home to play Buffalo this time next week at 7 o'clock. And by the way, the Buffalo Sabres, who have lost 8 games in a row. So hopefully the Bruins will be able to take care of Vancouver, Calgary, and Edmonton in the next couple of days here, and then come home and
Vancouver, Calgary, and Edmonton.
Shake off the 2 big losses so far.
And then Buffalo.
Yeah. Let's hope we can then shake off those 2 bad losses. But again, it's
8-1.
8-1, 5-1. Yeah.
Okay. Well, what have I got? I have the Celtics. The Celtics came back after having a mini vacation. They last played on Sunday, and then they wouldn't play for 4 nights until Thursday, and they won. They beat Detroit handily, crushed them, actually. Was up by 30 points at periods of time in the third and fourth quarter. Ended up coasting to an easy 20-point win. No Jason Tatum, no problem. None whatsoever. And the leading scorer was Peyton Pritchard. I'm not kidding you. Peyton Pritchard, coming off the bench, was the leading scorer with 27 points. This kid is turned into a monster, this guy. This guy is turning into a monster because the longer he plays, the more comfortable he is becoming with the NBA and whatever defense they can throw at him. He's becoming used to their players, whatever plays they throw at him now. He's seen them before. He knows what they can do and what they can't do. And he's figured out how to beat them, whether shooting from outside or taking them inside, taking them mid. Gosh. The kid takes it inside with the trees, with the oak trees. He's battling for rebounds underneath the basket. You must be kidding me, but no, I'm not kidding you. The kid is underneath there. He's doing all these things. I think the rest of the league better watch out because I don't think we've seen the best of him. I think there's more to come for Peyton Pritchard. I think in terms of confidence and sticking the dagger in, he might be that guy. He might be that guy that the closer. Okay, and they got some very good guys there. They got Tatum and Brown, who are pretty good closers. But if this continues, Peyton Pritchard might be the closer because he's becoming used to the NBA, and I don't see too much they can do about it. This guy's going to become like Steph Curry.
And it'd be very interesting to see, in an alternate universe, had the Celtics walked away from Peyton Pritchard, what the team would look like now.
No, we wouldn't want to see that.
No, we wouldn't.
No.
Certainly not.
No.
Clay, I want to ask you a question here because you just mentioned how the Celtics were off for a little bit. We haven't talked about this. The NBA Cup, do you find it a disruption or do you think it's good for the league?
I think it's good for the league.
You think so?
I think it's good for the league. It builds interest in places where otherwise it would not be. I mean, nobody would have cared about a game between the Hawks and the Celtics, except for the Hawks beat the Celtics.
Right.
Okay. It amped up the Hawks. And it also let the Celtics know that, there's teams out there gunning for them, and they have to raise their level of play. So within that quadrant or that sector that we're talking about there, the Cup, it has raised play. It has created interest. And the Hawks knocked off the Knicks, right, to win the Eastern part of it. So, I mean, yeah, right. And so
they'll play Milwaukee tonight.
They're going to play Milwaukee. For the East. Well, that's something for those guys to look forward to. And actually, yeah, I do feel a little bit left out that the Celtics are not in there. Even though it's kind of meaningless, it does mean something.
Second year in a row, I think we'll take the NBA championship over the midseason.
But they better
tournament.
win it now. They don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Okay, what we got on baseball?
Well, what do we have in baseball? There's a lot to talk about in baseball. We talked about it briefly last week, but why don't we discuss a lot of signings that have gone on and some trades as well. We'll first mention the big signing that happened to kick off the week of signings. That was, of course, Juan Soto going to the New York Mets.
New York Mets.
15 years for $765 million, Clay. I want to give you some fast facts here. That contract, is worth more than the current 2025 payroll commitments of all 10 teams in the American League Central and the National League Central Division, more than both the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Oakland Athletics, and having them paid players in the past 10 seasons. It's worth more than the combined bonuses paid to every MLB first-round draft pick in the past 5 years. More than the combined career on-field earnings of Tom Brady and Peyton Manning.
Oh my gosh.
And the combined career and on-court earnings of LeBron James and Michael Jordan.
Woo!
And I could go on and on and on.
I think we get the message.
What are we doing wrong, Clay, in our lives here, huh? We should have played baseball. We should have been born baseball players.
Obviously, we should originate from a warmer climate where a lot of Dominican players and players from the Caribbean are coming here and make millions and millions of dollars. What are we doing? Yeah, we should have played baseball. We should have been born in the Dominican Republic or somewhere down there and took up the trade.
Something like that. I want to also mention, too, I saw a funny thing. You just mentioned the Pittsburgh Pirates. There was a funny thing that said, and you got to feel for some of these lower-level teams that can't afford this.
That's more than their whole payroll.
Correct, yeah. And the Oakland, I saw a funny tweet that said, the Pittsburgh Pirates have offered Juan Soto a contract for $15 million for 765 years. But certainly tough for some of these smaller market teams. But the Mets also, in their contract, have agreed to provide Soto personal team security.
Get out of here.
For him and his family at the team's expense for all spring training, regular season home and road games, along with assisting Soto's family for in-season travel arrangements, guaranteed that he'll wear number 22, and that includes 8 types of award bonuses as well. And, of course, they're going to give him a free suite for – that was the point of contention as well. The Yankees don't give Soto players free suites. The Yankees, which I agree with, the Yankees' perception is we pay these players a lot of money.
Millions of dollars.
They can afford to buy their own suite if they like it. And Soto and his team wanted a free suite, and the Yankees wouldn't budge. I don't think that was a sticking point. Soto said that he wanted to go to the Mets because he believes that they can grow a dynasty. I think he
went to the Mets because they paid the most money.
Well, he's a generational talent. There's no doubt about it. But is he worth all that money? I think it's an open discussion, and I don't think the Red Sox were certainly willing to go that far to get him. Perhaps in the $700 million, but not that much.
None of them are worth the money. And here's the thing. He's not going to bring them a championship.
You don't think he's going to win them a World Series? He brought the Yankees to a World Series, but they couldn't get it done.
I said win. I didn't say get there. I said win. How many championships has he won anybody?
He did win the the Washington Nationals a championship as a very young player.
He wasn't that impactful on that.
Well, he contributed.
He was there, but not at where he's at now. I mean, so at this rate, at where he's at now, he has not won anybody a championship. He's not worth the money. From my point of view, if you want to win, I'm not too sure that the Mets want to win. So as much as they want to make a splash.
Well, we have someone on the line that I know definitely wants to talk about this. John, good morning. Welcome on into the show, my friend.
Good morning, Clay and Kevin. All I got to say is go Navy, beat Army.
Yeah, big game today.
Anchors away, my friend. Anchors away.
Woo!
Great day. It's a great day to be an American, huh, guys?
That certainly is.
It is.
Hey, John, we're just talking right now about the Juan Soto deal. I know you had a couple of thoughts on that to start things off.
All I have to say is, if anybody thinks the Red Sox were interested in signing Juan Soto, I have a beautiful bridge in Brooklyn to sell them.
You think that's all hype?
He had absolutely no chance of signing with the Red Sox. And now the Red Sox are trying to pull the wool over everyone's eyes. And all they want is their season ticket holders to pay their bills on time. And now they're going to say they're going after Nolan Arenado. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, they're kidding you.
Yeah, I guess they are. I think that's what they like to do over at 4 Jersey Street.
Yeah, no Moriarty way. What do you think of the trade, John, with the new pitcher, Garrett Crochet?
I think it's a great deal, Kevin and Clay, but the only thing I'm kind of worried about, he's a righty. I'm sorry, he's a lefty.
He's a lefty. Yeah.
So I think teams might stack the lineup at Fenway and hope he doesn't give up too many home runs in that Little League ballpark.
Yeah,
let's hope not. Let's hope. But a good talent.
I mean, he throws like 100 miles an hour. I think he should be okay on the road, but I just don't like those hot summer dog days in July and August.
A nice pop fly would just fly out of there.
Yeah.
Right, and him pitching against the Yankees. And I don't know if you guys have been watching this winter meetings. It's pretty interesting. It's very, very good entertainment. The Yankees signed Max Fried the other day, the Braves pitcher.
Really?
Paid him big money. And then yesterday they signed Milwaukee Brewers old closer, Deron Williams.
Right.
Now, I don't know if you guys remember Williams, but I love him as a competitor. A couple years ago, he gave up a homer in the 8th. They took him out. He walked right in the dugout, walked into the dressing room, only went in there, and he decided to punch the wall 15 times. Fractured every finger, fractured every bone in his hand and his fingers.
Is that competitiveness or is that craziness, insanity?
It's a little of both,
yes.
Clay. But I'm going to tell you something. What was the last time you ever saw Chris Sale show emotion?
Well, when he broke that TV in a rehab assignment, right? A few years ago when he was with the Red Sox.
He took apart a television. I'd like to rip apart a television for all that terrible stuff they send us. The only good quality entertainment in my book and for my buck is on radio, AM radio.
Right here, John.
Exactly. I can't wait to. This is the highlight of my week. I look forward to talking to you guys about sports.
Hey, John,
Army, Navy.
John, we're going to ask you to hang on for about a minute. We're going to run a commercial with you on hold, and we'll bring you right back.
Sounds good, Clay. Thanks.
Okay. Dry sauna or wet steam room, you can de-stress, detox, and unwind in style. Plenty of showers are available. A small snack bar, large screen televisions, and comfortable chairs to cool off in during your visit. A variety of oil massages are also available. They have 2 convenient locations, one in Chelsea, the other in Quincy. Go online or call 617-549-3484 for operating times or for more information. That is 617-549-3484. Dylan's Russian Steam Baths, where heat, steam, and water have a therapeutic effect.
Nicely done there, Clay. Very good.
Thank you, Dylan.
Yeah. Hey, John, before we let you go, just quick thoughts on Bill Belichick. We're going to get to that here in the program, but I know we've talked about this before with you.
I hate to tell you, I predicted that, I think 2 weeks ago when they said he was in line for the UNC job. I said, quite convenient to having the Wasabi Bowl at Fenway Park on December 28th at 11 a.m. in the morning. How many people are just going to be popping in from the local gin mills back to their house at 11 in the morning to watch the Wasabi Bowl?
The Wasabi Bowl.
Now there's so much interest in that game. You know, it's being at Fenway Park, and hopefully, you know what? I think the Red Sox, ESPN, NCAA, they don't like seeing their venues empty for these college bowl games.
No.
Hopefully the people from Boston just go out and support it and support college athletics.
Well, they're playing UConn, so you're bound to get some interest from
folks coming up. It would have been better if
they
were playing BC.
Well, BC playing that same day at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah. BC upgraded. They went to Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think they wanted BC.
Obviously.
Because, I mean, what did you guys hear about that Nick Castellanos, the quarterback from BC?
Yeah.
Is that just an anger issue or something?
Yeah, some problems with Bill O'Brien. We've talked about here in the program before, but then BC too, John, played in the Wasabi Bowl last year. They beat SMU, who of course now in the college football playoff.
So close.
Story there.
So close.
I look forward to that event every year because I love college football.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's something different in Kenmore Square that day.
Yeah, certainly is.
Will be. We're going to be down there. Hopefully, I have a feeling that me and Kevin are going to be there for that game.
Oh, you got to go, guys. You got to go. You know what to do. Get up early, 7 o'clock that morning. Why don't you guys do live from there?
Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah, we'll see.
Wait a second. Yeah.
It's an idea.
Have some of the people on here and just do it up until kickoff.
Hey, you know what? You gave us a good idea. We're going to work on it. We're going to work on our contacts down there to do it live.
Okay, I'll send you my bill for being your
all right,
advisor here.
Good man, John. Thanks so much as always. What do you think about the game tomorrow, Pate? You said Patriots going to put up a lot of points against Arizona.
Yeah, I think it's an easy one for them. One thing I like Mayo did. They went to Arizona a day early. They were supposed to. Usually, pro teams in pro football leave on the Saturday, but why would you stay in Boston an extra day when you can be in Arizona?
Yeah, not bad.
Wait a minute, you're giving them credit for that move there? That was a no-brainer.
Yeah, I know, but still, you know, there's a lot of no-brainers coming out of Route 1 in Foxborough in the last 10 years.
Yeah, you got that right. All right, John.
Especially by not signing Matthew Judon, who I'm a little bit upset with.
All right, John.
Good man, John.
It's been beautiful as usual.
We'll talk to you next week.
We'll talk to you next week.
All right, guys. Thanks. Have a good one.
Thanks.
You too.
Oh, it's always great.
844-249-5247. 844-249-5247.
So just a little bit on Garrett Crochet, 26 years old, has already had Tommy John surgery. That's a concern for me as well. But the Red Sox gave up some good prospects to get him. And I think if you want talent like that, you got to give up.
You're going to have to
give up
something.
And I can't believe, Clay, it was 8 years ago. We just mentioned Chris Sale, that the Red Sox made that trade for Chris Sale. And that worked out to an extent. And hopefully, obviously, Crochet is a little bit younger in his career. But why don't we take another phone call? Let's talk to Wayne here, who is on the line. Wayne, good morning.
What we got here?
Hey, good morning, Clay.
Good morning, Wayne.
How are you guys today?
Good morning.
Hey, so does it feel like the Big Freeze #2 with Bill Belichick and the NFL owners, what Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen did to Isaiah Thomas on their dream team?
You're freezing them out.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, is this a demotion for Bill going to the college football, or?
I see it as a great move for him. I'm glad he did it rather than come to the NFL, because you're right, Wayne. They froze him out. They chose. I mean, look at the Atlanta Hawks and how bad they are. I mean, come on. He couldn't have taken the talent that was there with B. John Robinson, Drake London. I don't know if they make that deal for Kirk Cousins. I mean, at $180 million for 4 years for a broken down play. They definitely don't make that fool move. So there's lots of teams that definitely needed Bill Belichick and chose not to take him.
But do you think a lot of those owners did not trust him? Because if you look at who he have again as his lineup with Michael Lombardi, Matt Patricia, and the likes, he wasn't really changing his ways.
No, and I don't think a lot of the ownership wanted to give up what Belichick probably wanted. Kraft sort of had a hands-off approach with Belichick and let him run the team, and it worked to an extent, obviously, for those many years with Brady as well. But I don't think a lot of owners, Jerry Jones to name a few, would sort of step off and let Belichick run the show. I don't think they were willing to do that. Perhaps some owners would, but not everybody. I think when you peel back the curtain a little bit, this does make sense. I didn't even realize Belichick's connection to UNC in terms of his father was an assistant there,
right?
And I think it's a great move for him. And now you've got two NFL coaches, of course, with the Patriots connection as well. And now in the ACC, both we know Bill O'Brien at BC and now Bill Belichick
this is going to be fantastic
at UNC, and and we'll see what happens.
It's going to be a little mini bowl, but also I think the owners don't like Bill Belichick for all those years that he trounced them. And to be serious about it, I think that factors into it also. There was a lot of dislike about Bill Belichick, and when the owners had a chance to freeze him out, they did so.
Now, getting back to his negotiations with NC to bring his kid on and all of that, has something been opened up now with the college ranks? Can someone negotiate a contract like that going forward and having these colleges? Because they are a state-run university, and are they going to hide his salary and stuff like what he did here with New England?
That's a good question.
I don't know.
Did he negotiate that? Is his son going with him to NC?
Yeah, there's a lot of talk about him wanting his son to be like the head coach in waiting when he's done. I don't know if they gave him all of that in his demands and his negotiations, but I don't know. It'd be curious to see what goes on going forward.
We heard that with the Patriots too. That Belichick's kid was waiting in the wings to take over.
Yeah, we heard that.
That didn't happen. But listen, Wayne. A lot of things have changed with college ball now, with NIL rules and how some players can make money and things like that. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that is if what you're hearing is true or turns out to be true. But
well, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, where he goes, his sons go.
Right.
Yeah, Matt Patricia, Mike Lombardi.
Bring them all. The gang's all here.
We'll see if McDaniels finds his way down there too. He's looking for a job.
Scott Pioli. Scott Pioli looking for a little bit of employment. Joe Judge. Joe Judge. Bring them all.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Formula One season just got wrapped up.
Woo!
Verstappen won his championship, and starting in 2025, Lewis Hamilton will be driving for Ferrari, and can't wait for that to get started.
Wait a second. Isn't that like a betrayal? Wasn't he with Mercedes?
He was with Mercedes. He also started out with McLaren. Then he went to Mercedes. But Ferrari is like, the mothership. You get a chance to drive for those guys. How can you say no?
Is there any loyalty in F1 racing?
No, there's a lot of loyalty. There is loyalty.
I don't know. I'm taking your word for it. Whatever you say, I'm going with. I have no idea of the loyalty in F1 Formula One racing.
Look,
so
I'm sure it was not an easy decision for him to make, because the whole calendar year he had to drive knowing he's leaving the team for another team. It's not like you are retiring. You're still at the peak of your talent, and you're going to another. So that's a really tough year for both he and Carlos Sainz.
Wow. Let me ask a question. Is he going to get paid more money?
I'm sure those salaries are well hidden, but again, the money comes in winning championship.
I have a feeling he's getting paid more money.
Yeah, and then you're getting the drive for Ferrari, man.
and more money.
I think he's got a lot of money. I think it's the Ferrari dynasty and label is where and it should be a good year coming up.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you for the F1 report, Wayne. As usual, we are more than happy to hear it and to learn more about F1 and Lewis Hamilton and the guy who actually won the cup, Verstappen.
Max Verstappen for Red Bull.
There he is, Red Bull. All right. Okay, we're going to get off now. We have a little commercial we have to run here, Wayne, but tune in and we'll keep you abreast on everything that's happening. We might be going out to that Wasabi Bowl, and we're going to let you know if we are.
And you guys are sliced bread, so we look forward to your Saturdays.
Thank you, Wayne.
Thank you, Wayne.
Guys, have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
We're going to get to our commercial. I just want to say one more thing in the Red Sox, and this is a big development here in the program for me personally, because I'm going to give credit to the Red Sox front office and ownership, and where I've been very critical of, but they finally made a move. Listen, Clay, I don't want to say long-suffering Red Sox fan, because we haven't suffered in terms. Maybe we'll be a little spoiled.
You're in your 20s.
I said we're not long-suffering.
You
perhaps are, and others are. You were at one time.
Definitely.
At one time.
Yes.
As I said, what I just said was, I don't want to sound spoiled.
You are.
But, okay, that's fine. But anyway, I do have to remember, well before my time, that you folks would have to wait. But, after hearing everything last year, how, it's full throttle and we're going all in, they didn't. And now they finally have decided to do it, and I give credit. A lot of people are upset that they had to give up prospects, but this is the game. You have to give up some of your talent. We've talked about here on the show many times before. To get major league ready talent. I think Garrett Crochet is going to fit in nicely, be your number one starter as a lefty, and hopefully he can stay healthy, because the Red Sox, when they either trade or sign a pitcher, the injury bug hits them at some point. So hopefully we don't see anything long term with Garrett Crochet. But if they can get another starter or another bat, I'll be happy. But I think this team is a couple pieces away from being a real contender. But Garrett Crochet is a big piece of that puzzle. So I give them a lot of credit.
I think they are a young outfielder away from going places. I don't think you need to pay an exorbitant amount of money to get talent. I think talent coming up out of the Dominican Republic and all of those colonies down there can supply us with the next big guy. We just need to be patient, cultivate our farm system, go after the guys that do look like they have potential and bring them in. And what you need is a young club. You need a young club that wants it. And so if the Red Sox can get that, they're going to be in contention, and you never know what might happen.
So we'll see what happens as the rest of the offseason goes on. And before we know, we're going to be talking about spring training and opening day here in just a short couple of months. So we look forward to.
And John, I'm with you, John. I think this is just window dressing. That they're really not going to try that hard. Just this guy.
Well, $765 million. We'll see what happens. What talent Juan Soto will be able to provide on the field for the New York Mets, and if he will be able to build a dynasty with them, he's going to have 15 years to do it. So
forget about it.
And a lot of money. But anyway. All right. Before we transition to football, let's say hello to our friends at Oyama Investments. If you're looking for a smart investment, well, you've come to the right place. That, of course, seeking all your home. Well, they are the place where your dreams find a foundation. They're more than just your real estate. They're a trusted partner in building a secure future, whether you're investing in a property that will grow with you or purchasing your dream home. They make the process easy, transparent, and also rewarding. Very important. Oyama Investments specializes in finding properties that align perfectly with your goals. Imagine owning a piece of the future, whether it's a luxury apartment, commercial space, or a family home in the perfect neighborhood. And if you're new to the real estate investment market, well, they're here every step of the way, helping you make informed choices with confidence. With real estate prices rising, there's never been a better time to invest. Visit oyamainvestments.com or give them a call, 617-221-8881. Today, where your vision becomes a reality, that's our friends at Oyama Investments. There we go.
Football.
Here we go. Week 15 of the NFL. Patriots coming off the bye, heading to, as John mentioned, I guess a day early too, down in Glendale, Arizona, to take on the 6 and 7 rather. I put the cart before the horse there. 6 and 7 Arizona Cardinals. Clay, right now the Patriots are projected, if the season ends today, to pick for the second year in a row the third overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. Would you like to see this team continue to lose the last 4 games of the regular season, or show some competition in the game against Arizona tomorrow, 2 against Buffalo, and then, of course, against the Chargers at home in 2 weeks?
I think that they are going to show as much competition as they possess, and they will still lose. You can't win without an offensive line. That's something that has not been addressed the whole year. Even on the bye week, Nothing's come in. Nothing's gone out on the field. They're still going to have the same setup. And I'm thinking, well, why even play Drake May? We still have a healthy Jacoby Brissett sitting on the bench. Shut Drake May down. He has to have a couple of nagging injuries that you can sit him on the bench for. Put Jacoby Brissett out there. There's no way that they should risk his health the rest of the season when it's basically a shutdown season.
Well, I mean, again, I think there's great talent with Drake May, but we can.
I think there's great talent.
Continue to talk about this when you don't have anybody to throw to, and you're constantly running for your life.
Running.
What do you expect? What do you expect? And I think what we've seen so far this year from Drake May, that there is going to be great success with him.
Yes,
but we have to surround him with good talent. I mean, it's really, in my opinion,
talent.
I don't claim to know everything about football and schemes and everything like that, but in my opinion, looking at this, it's pretty easy to me what needs to be fixed. And we'll see if the front office decides to do it. I think Robert Kraft wants to do it. It's a question of what the front office believes, and that could come in contention with what Robert Kraft believes as well.
Well, Robert Kraft needs to take a firmer hold. I think Drake May is the second best talent of rookie quarterbacks out there. You have Jaden Daniels, then you have Drake May. You can lump Bo Nix, Caleb Williams, or anybody else you want after those two. But the fact that Drake May is standing upright, game 15, I think since taking over in the 4th or 5th game, with this type of offensive line, that he's been able to navigate this team is unbelievable.
Right.
The kid has the strongest arm of all of the quarterbacks. He has nice touch, great accuracy. He can run, not as good as Jaden Daniels, but then again, that's a generational talent. You're not going to get that. And who's really talking about that? What we talk about is he good for the job here? Can he do the job? And yes, he can. But he's going to need some talent and some weapons around him. And we have to see what they're going to do. And if they don't, he needs to take a step in that direction and demand that they do so. And I know I'm not one of these guys who say athletes should demand. But in this case, when the guy has this much talent and they're giving him this little amount to work with, he's going to have to make a move in the direction, say, hey, and you guys either want to do this or maybe you should let me go. Maybe you should trade me to another team because I'm not going to risk my health, which is what he's doing out there right now.
So let me ask you this question. There is a slight chance, I wouldn't say slight, maybe an okay chance, that the Patriots do select the first overall pick. If things go their way, to lose out, and the Raiders and Giants are in front of them, and if they start to, win a game or two, and the Patriots lose all 4, then, hey, maybe you're Elliott Wolf in this position. Offensive line, or B, wide receiver? What do you do with the first pick?
With the first pick, I traded. I traded in and get multiple picks.
Okay.
I want multiple picks
really?
in the first round.
You wouldn't take, well.
No, I don't want the first overround guy. Okay. I'm not going to waste that on an offensive lineman. Okay. We've seen how to do this. Bill Belichick has given us the blueprint. You're going to get multiple picks with this number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, or number 5 pick. You can translate that into 3 offensive linemen. Okay. And a defensive guy. More guys in the 2nd and 3rd round. That pick that you have sitting on the bench, Joe Milton, what are you doing? Trade that and get you another pick, an offensive lineman, get you a serviceable backup. Is that going to be Jacoby Brissett? I don't know. But let's get you a backup in there because your starter is going to be Drake May. Okay. You don't need this other guy sitting on the bench, him looking over his shoulder at him. Okay. So get a pick for him. They have so many options to do the right thing. Whether they're going to do it is going to be the big question.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how the rest of the season shakes out and what Elliott Wolf and the front office decide to do with their at least top 5 draft pick at this point, unless things change dramatically in the next 4 weeks.
They should definitely get a top 5. What I'm thinking is, look at Washington. Washington, the general manager was a scout here.
Correct.
Adam Peters, I believe his name is. Yep. Adam Peters started as a scout. He has worked his way all through the system. He has proven himself. And now that he went Jaden Daniels. They shored up the line. Great coach in Dan Quinn. Yeah. Was a former guy at Atlanta. They have all the pieces in play for Jaden Daniels to be successful. Something that Drake May does not. We're going to have to address that. Elliott Wolf might not be the guy for the job. I mean, he has not done anything the whole year to shore up the offensive line. It's ridiculous. You can't have this and never address it. You're gonna have to make some effort.
Right.
And he made the minimal amount of effort to address the offensive line after the preseason and knowing how bad it was. So I'd rather have the guy that's in Washington, a proactive guy, a guy who goes out there who has worked his way and has it done. This guy, Wolf, seems to be living off his father's name because his father was a GM over there in Green Bay.
Right.
And that name seems to carry weight, but what he's doing is detrimental to the team.
Well, at least for the last 2 years, that's for sure. And the Patriots just about have an identical record where they stood last year. So we'll see. We'll see what happens going forward. But the next 4 games, where the playoff picture stands in the NFL right now, the Chiefs continue to hold the first seed in the AFC. And
Pat Mahomes.
Season end today, of course, Buffalo has number 2. They'd face Denver. Pittsburgh right now, the number 3, leading the AFC North. They would face the LA Chargers. And Houston Texans looking to clinch the AFC South division. Right now would face the Baltimore Ravens. We'll get to those Week 15 picks in a moment. In the NFC, the Lions continue to hold down the first seed in the NFC.
Lions roar.
Philadelphia right behind them at number 2. They'd face those Washington Commanders if the season ends today.
Oh, gosh.
Seattle right now leading the NFC West, but the Rams are on their heels. They'd play the Packers in the playoffs, and, of course, they play the Packers tomorrow night on Sunday Night Football as well. And, of course, we have a new leader, Clay, in the NFC South, thanks to the very poor play of Kirk Cousins and the Atlanta Falcons. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, despite all the injury woes in the middle of the year, Baker Mayfield, they lost 4 in a row, and they lost some of their receivers. Now they're back, and now they're leading the NFC South division. They would play a home game against the Minnesota Vikings right now if the season ended today. 4 games left to go, but, I think
the Buccaneers got him.
I think in terms of Atlanta, I think it's time to sit Kirk Cousins down. And by the way, I made a mistake last week. I went back and watched the program because we try to pick up on what we perhaps were wrong in and improve. And I said that Minnesota drafted Kirk Cousins. I was completely wrong about that.
Washington.
And I knew Washington did that. So that was a Freudian slip there, and I apologize for that. And but he spent so many years with Minnesota. Yeah. But it's just a poor play, and I think it's time for the Falcons to seriously consider Michael Penix Jr. in there to try to salvage their season.
What is the GM? The GM, Terry Fontenot?
Yeah.
This guy should have been fired a while ago. Speaking of bad GM,
yeah.
I'm talking about,
It's just a bizarre assortment of things done there. You sign Kirk Cousins a month before you draft. You have the 8th overall pick. Knowing you had the 8th overall pick, you had months to decide. You bring in Kirk Cousins, who probably wasn't as strong as he was 4 or 5 years ago. You sign him to a huge deal, exactly an injury too, and you draft Michael Penix Jr. That's fine, but pick a lane.
No, they seem they're all over the place. And I was talking to one of my cousins, and we had a long chat discussion yesterday and the week before about this whole thing. The mediocrity that they accept in Atlanta, they accept it as okay. Raheem Morris.
Right.
Inherits a great team.
First year head coach.
First-year head coach. What you should really, this is your year.
Right.
Okay. Make a statement. No, none whatsoever. Mediocrity.
And remember, he beat out, apparently, Belichick for that job.
Your GM signs Kirk Cousins to $180 million for 4 years.
Arthur Blank must be thinking, the owner of the team, if we had Bill, maybe things would have been different. I don't know. I mean, you can't play the Monday morning quarterback here, but this was
it's crazy.
The NFC South is a very bad division. The Saints,
but it was there for taking.
Exactly my point. Exactly my point. The Falcons had it, and it just goes to show.
Bijan Robinson, Drake
London,
Drake London,
yeah.
Who's the tight end? Diggs.
Yep.
Unbelievable. They got these guys have talent as far as football goes.
It's a great talent,
and you want to say, hey, listen, these guys should win on paper. These guys are what? What's 6 and 7?
6 and 7 right now.
And nobody's talking about making any changes down there. I talked to my cousin. He's like, well, and they just make excuses, and that's why Atlanta is mired in mediocrity because
Kyle Pitts, the tight end.
Pitts, because put it truthfully, what is it? Fontenot's a DEI hire. For that matter, I think Elliott Wolf's a DEI hire. Okay, you're taking these guys on something, but it's not a proven track record. It's just taking them and putting them there and saying, hey, I like this guy. I like this kid. We're going to put him here. And despite what happens, they dodge the bullet of anybody saying, hey, excuse me, something's wrong here. There's something going on that's not right. You need to rectify the situation. Nobody throws the blame on them. The blame is on Terry Fontenot.
Well, it's not looking good in Atlanta. They're trying to salvage whatever they can do to get back in the playoff hunt. Now they're completely out of the race. It's either the division or bust for them with the way the wild card is shaping up. So
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll
We'll
see.
see.
But we'll get to that. They play on Monday night. But let's get to our picks. We got 10 minutes left to go
Oh,
here in the program. Week 15, 12 games we picked last week. I went 9-3. Clay went 8-4.
I think he's not being honest. I think I went.
You can say that.
9-3,
You can say that every week, but we'll go back and roll the tape. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But
roll the tape. Hey
we'll-
guys, go back and roll the tape.
that's okay. That's all right. That's no problem. No problem.
Everybody, roll the tape. Listen, go back and watch the show
Yes, please.
Yeah, please do watch the show.
I admit I
rewind it.
took the Chargers over the Chiefs. And by the way, the Chargers had many opportunities to win that game, and the Chiefs got lucky again. It's just amazing to me how the Chiefs continue to win these games.
When Blakely's off, right? We got that off.
That's off. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
No music.
It's great. It's had a little music thing going last week. There's so much hate on the Chiefs, but let's just get to our picks. Okay, I took Tennessee over Jacksonville, and Mac Jones actually beat Tennessee.
And thanks to Mac Jones, that moved the Patriots up the board for the draft pick, too.
There you go.
So Mac's still helping us out.
I took Cleveland to beat Pittsburgh. That was my upset of the week. That wasn't an upset.
Well, if the game ended in the first quarter, that would have been good for you, but Pittsburgh likes to come out slow and then take care of business.
Arizona, you took
I took Seattle. Yep.
and I took Arizona.
That's okay.
We both took Buffalo, and that was the loss.
I think America took Buffalo.
I should. Did I take?
You did take Kansas City. Give you that.
No, I took Los Angeles.
Did you?
Yes, I
You
did.
took the Rams?
I took the Rams.
All right, now we're going to have to go back and really look at the tape. So fine, we'll
Ladies
both
and
say we
gentlemen.
were even at 9-3.
Ladies and gentlemen, go back and watch the tape and tell us whether I took Los Angeles or Buffalo.
44-42 in a crazy shootout. 5 touchdowns for Josh Allen. That wasn't enough. And watch out for the LA Rams because now they control their own destiny in the NFC West. They've already beaten the Seahawks once this year. They play them again, and Tyler Higbee's coming back from injury, and it's clicking on all cylinders for Sean McVay. But anyway, we'll get to that. Let's get to our picks right now here in Week 15. We'll talk about the first game, of course. We don't pick the Thursday night game, but the Rams did beat the 49ers in a really bad Thursday night game, 12-6 out there in Santa Clara, and I think it's all said and done for the 49ers, who now
It's been a tough year.
have 8 losses this year. Alrighty then, Kansas City travels to Cleveland to kick off Week 15. I will take the Chiefs, and let's see, Clay, if the Chiefs can win a game by more than 1 or 2 possessions.
I'm going with Cleveland. Yes, ladies
2
and
weeks
gentlemen.
in a row. Wow, you'll defend the Chiefs just because I don't take them, but yet you take Cleveland. You have an affinity for Jameis Winston, the Cleveland Browns. 2 weeks in a row against 2 top seeds in the AFC.
Jameis Winston. Listen, I'm just going with you. I think I'm picking this to be my upset game because Kansas City expended so much energy beating the Chargers last week. I think they might be in store for a letdown.
We'll see. We'll
Okay.
see what happens. Kansas City looking to hold on to their number 1 seed right now in the AFC. The Bengals, Monday night win against Dallas. This past Monday night, traveled to the lowly Tennessee Titans. Joe Burrow, 5-8. I mentioned it earlier in the program.
You think he's the MVP?
I think he should be the MVP, or at least should be considered more as the MVP with the way he's thrown the ball this year, and he leads in basically all major categories for quarterbacks this year throughout the regular season. But the defense has been another story. Cleveland right now Cincinnati favored right now by 5 against Tennessee. I'd take them in a huge win. Trying to stay afloat in the playoff race. I don't see they have to win out and basically have everyone lose, but I take them to beat Tennessee easily on the road.
Well, if you want to, you can go see the game. I mean, it's only $21. $21 will get you in the door, but I'm taking Cincinnati also. We have Washington. The next game is Washington going to New Orleans. Another 1:00 game. It's happening at the Caesars Dome in New Orleans, and I am going to take Washington.
I'll take Washington easily in this one. Derek Carr out for the year, as is the hopes for the New Orleans Saints. Jaden Daniels coming back to the state of Louisiana, of course, where he played college ball at LSU, and I think the Commanders will continue to hold firm in the. I think the division's out of reach for them, but I think they'll take that last wild card spot and beat the Saints here for win number 9.
$25
in
and the airfare to New Orleans will get you in.
Yeah, Marshawn Lattimore too, who was traded to the Commanders, making his debut as well. So homecoming for him as well,
Great.
of sorts in New Orleans. All right, the Ravens coming off the bye after a brutal loss to the Eagles at home. They travel to the Meadowlands to play the lowly New York Jets. Drew Lock is out. Tommy DeVito is back in. I think regardless, I think Baltimore needs a win in more ways than one. I think they'll take care of the Giants easily here to get back on track.
I can't believe it. You're not going with the New York Giants.
Well, no.
No?
So I'm not that crazy, Clay.
All right.
Baltimore's favored by 16. I think I'd favor them by a little more than that.
I'm not crazy enough to go with them either. I'm going with Baltimore. Next game, Dallas. We got Dallas traveling to Carolina. Dallas. Let's see. Now, this game is actually costs money. $70. It's going to cost you $70 just to get in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Dallas must be hot. I'm going with Dallas.
Well, they just lost against Cincinnati. I'm going to take the 3-10 Carolina Panthers. Bryce Young is throwing the ball much better. They have lost games, but they've stayed in games as well. They almost upset the Eagles. They almost upset the Chiefs. Now people would say, well, they didn't, and I understand that, but Bryce Young is playing much better football. Things are starting to click a little bit in Carolina, and the Carolina Panthers are favored in this game, Clay, for the first time since 2022. I don't think the Cowboys have much to play for. I will take the Panthers in a shootout in Carolina.
Not that the Panthers have too much to play for either.
Well, some enthusiasm as the year and some momentum as the years go on.
Okay.
But I'll take Bryce Young. My first time taking the Panthers all year.
What we got for the next game?
All right, 4 minutes left to go here. Some really brutal 1 o'clock games here. The Jets travel down to Jacksonville after losing last week in Miami. They stay in Florida. And Mac Jones facing off against the Jets again. I'll take Aaron Rodgers in this one just because I think the Jets, obviously these teams are nothing to play for other than draft positioning, but I think the Jets are a better team than Jacksonville right now, and I'll take Aaron Rodgers for, you can believe it, win number 4 this year.
Well, that'd be great. And $18 in the plane fare to Jacksonville will get you in. That is the lowest game of the week. $18 to get into the Jacksonville game against the Jets. I am picking the Jets.
No doubt about it.
Miami is going to take on Houston.
Yeah,
traveling to Houston to take on Houston.
This is a big game.
Tough game. Now, Houston is favored.
They are. I think
I'm
being
going
at home,
with Miami.
I'm going to take Miami as well. Miami needs this win. We've talked about this before. They can't afford to lose any more games if they want to stay in contention for an AFC wildcard position. I think the Texans are trying to close down the AFC South division. They have struggled as of late, and I think the Colts are on their heels as well if they're able to win this week. But I will take the Miami Dolphins. I'll give Tua a shot down the road to try to get the Dolphins to 7-7.
Come on, Tua. Come on, you can do it.
3 minutes, Clay.
What you got?
All right, let's head to 4:30 out in Denver. This is a huge game for the wild card race. The 6-7 Indianapolis Colts take on the 8-5 Denver Broncos. Clay, if the Colts win this game, look out for the Indianapolis Colts to potentially make the AFC wild card. I say this because if you look at their schedule, they're able to beat Denver. The remaining games, the 3 games, Titans, Giants, and Jaguars for the Indianapolis Colts. And if they beat the Denver Broncos and Denver loses, who they still have to play Kansas City and the Chargers.
Are you picking the Colts?
I'm going to pick the Broncos. Sorry, Anthony. Sorry, Anthony Richardson. Sorry, Colts fans, but I'll take the Broncos at home and Bo Nix.
I'm going with Broncos also. And that game is going to cost you $78 to get in. Buffalo's traveling to Detroit.
Is this the Super Bowl matchup, Clay, in your mind?
Well, it should be for the price. $312. It's going to cost you just to get in the game. That's just to get in the game. That's not even the high price seats. $312. This
will be a great game. Buffalo's already locked down the AFC East, obviously, this year, but they still have a chance, an outside chance to win the first round bye, but a huge loss last week.
Detroit.
I'm going to take my Lions as well, but I think this could be the Super Bowl matchup we will see this year. But I'm going to take Detroit in this one, a great 4:30 game.
Okay, you got the next one.
Yes, I do. We have the Battle of Pennsylvania. The Steelers travel to Lincoln Financial Field to take on the Eagles. Steelers, not a lot of people talking about the Steelers here. 9-3 this year, and they're 10-3, beating Cleveland last week. Yeah. I'm going to take the Eagles at home. There's been some contention with Brandon Graham and the receivers there. There's been some A.J. Brown, but I think Saquon Barkley is going to run all over them. I'm going to take the Eagles.
I'm taking the Eagles. Okay.
The Battle of Pennsylvania.
We have New England. The Battle of Pennsylvania. We have New England going to Arizona. I'm taking Arizona.
I'll take the Cardinals as well. Cardinals looking to get back in the win column, go to 7-7, and stay afloat in the NFC West right now, which is starting to shape up to be a Seahawks versus Rams showdown, but I keep the Cardinals in a close race there, and I think they beat Drake May and the Patriots.
Okay, keep it rolling.
All right, Tampa Bay heading to Englewood to play the L.A. Chargers. We talk about Tampa Bay looking to get win number 8. I think the Chargers, after a brutal loss to Kansas City, take care of Tampa Bay at home.
And I concur with you. And then we have Green Bay traveling to Seattle. I am taking Green Bay.
I'll take Green Bay in Seattle as well. A big game for both teams. And then 2 Monday night games. Chicago traveling to Minnesota. I'll take the Vikings at home against Caleb Williams, who was, let's say, not good.
Not good. And Atlanta's traveling to Las Vegas. And as much as I would like to take Las Vegas, I'm going to give Atlanta another chance and go with Atlanta.
I'll take Atlanta as well. They need this win and couldn't come against the worst team in the Vegas Raiders. And that's all she wrote. There were 20 seconds left to go with the quickest hour in sports, my friend.
We do it. We do it. And we get it done. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Remember, don't be afraid. Call in 844-249-5247 next week. 844-249-5247. Thank you for tuning in and listening in, and we appreciate all of your comments.
Thank you.
I came in this business